Welcome to the visionarywoman.com.
The subject is very near and dear to me because I really feel as though we as women have to embrace our vaginas and embrace our intimate health. And in doing so, it starts at a very young age. So it's important that we don't take our vaginas for granted and we learn as much as we can about our vaginal health and everything about it, cleaning it, our sexual health, and everything else that has to do with hormonal cycles. It's taboo, and there's so many sensationalized cultural taboos about the vagina. And this is really why I wanted to write She-ology, because I kept hearing them over and over, and it became clear to me that women really want to know about the wonders of the vagina. It's very complicated, how to care for it, from everything from masturbation to orgasm to female sexual dysfunction. Women really want to know as much as they possibly can about the vagina, but the problem is that to start the conversation, this is where the challenge begins, because you'll be very curious to know that 65% of women, first of all, they don't even call the vagina, they use the code name. And it's just part of this taboo and how we're discussing our personal health. My patients inspired me to bring some of these conversations that I have in the privacy in my examining rooms so that every woman could benefit from learning about some of these taboo issues, from masturbation to how do I taste, and things that women really want to know. And the first chapter I wrote was called The Perfect Bee, and it's introduced by the fantastic Ashley Benson, because women were coming in and they were wanting to know how their vagina looked. There's sort of a change of how the lips look and the color as we age. But if you lined up 10 of your best girlfriends, every vagina is going to look different. I mean, just like our ears are different, our breasts are different in how they look, our eyes. There are women who actually do have true sort of abnormal lips that can be a problem.
No flower is alike, and you know what these flowers represent. No woman is alike, okay? So no labia are created equal. So there are some that are so large that some women can't zip up their pants. Too large. There is help, and we can do it laser, we can do it surgically. This is definitely an indication because, again, body image, self-image is so important to women.
So, you know, I always pull out the mirror and we go through a full anatomy, vagina 101, so that I can really educate women on their lady parts and where the labia is, where the clitoris is, and where the urine comes out or the urethra opening. And many women are pleasantly surprised what they're looking at. Part of why I wrote this book is I really want to create sort of a vagina revolution, because it's really a metaphor for taking care of our personal health and the vagina, of course. But these are areas and topics that are just completely under discussed. And if you can't have the conversation with your doctor, you know, then who can you have it with? And I've also noticed that, you know, after writing this book, this resistance that I've gotten from mainstream media in talking about the vagina, you know, there's this complete gender injustice happening, because certainly we can talk about erectile dysfunction all day long. But when it comes to the vagina and talking about our intimate, and the conversation is, you know, how's your period? You having any problems? No, you usually say no, and then, okay, scooch down and you do your pap and you're done. So there's really no time for conversation and really getting into some of the real issues that women are having about their bodies and their vaginas. Narrative on how we care for ourselves. So there tends to be more women going into OBGYN in general, but then, you know, as time goes on and they have babies, there may be less and less out there, but I think it is pretty much 50-50. So if you're not satisfied or getting the answers and care that you need from your current doctor, there are so many good ones out there. And I would talk to your girlfriends, talk to your coworkers, go online, look at some of the different medical organizations that do sort of assessments of different doctors. Find someone that really is going to listen to you, that wants to hear what's happening in your life. I think, you know, PMS is such a common problem. and women's lives are turned upside down, and the depression or mood swings and anxiety can be so devastating. And tell your doctor, look, I am experiencing these symptoms. And we often will say, look, let's try some lifestyle strategies, eating a lot of sodium, or foods that might help with water retention and the bloating. And then we can also do things like acupuncture. It's maybe not always running to a prescription, but ultimately things like progesterone cream, low progesterone, and we give progesterone cream the second half of the cycle. But if there's a true depression component that is not being helped by any of these strategies, an antidepressant is needed. But it is a conversation, it cannot be rushed. This is a huge concern because millions of women getting their pap smears or birth control or STI, sexually transmitted infection screening, or mammograms, breast exams. It's a long list of our reproductive rights that our country is not making a top priority. So to your point, this really speaks to what we value, and it's very sad, especially as a physician, that this is going on in our country today. Happening, whether it's the Women's March, whether there's different, I've been to different grassroots meetings in different neighborhoods talking about women's health care, making a lot of noise, and women are powerful. Things are happening, and I really believe the government and those opposed to supporting women's reproductive rights, they hear us. And this is what it takes. It takes what we're doing, and I see it every day, and it's grassroots efforts, and anyone can have an impact on something that seems almost inevitable. I believe that women are amazing and are powerful, and this has strengthened us as a gender. I am so excited about Sheology. It's been a dream come true, and I'm so grateful to my patients who inspired me, that have allowed me to use some stories in the book. Brooke Shields introduced my Mama V and talks about her own postpartum depression. Angela Nazarian, amazing inspiration to all women, introduced the Bashful V, which talks about issues related to our own sexual insecurities, cultural taboos, upbringing, religious issues related to our sexuality. There's something in it for every age group woman. It's available right now on Amazon as a pre-order. I encourage you to buy it. It's a lot of fun, and it's so interesting, and I like to refer to it as the non-traditional version of Our Bodies, Ourselves.
TheVisionaryWoman.com. Watch our host of insightful video exchange interviews. Listen to the Visionary Woman Hotspot Talk Radio to empower your evenings, and read fascinating articles of inspiration and perseverance, all with you in mind. Visit us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.